and welcome to the latest episode of the Tractor Girls Talk podcast. My name's Katy Sandalls. I'm the women's football columnist for the East Anglian Daily Times and Ipswich Star. I'm joined, as always, by photographer supremo Ross Halls. How you doing, Ross?
Very well. You always change the word up, don't you, every episode? But
I like to mix it up. I like it.
How are you doing? I've been to Burton, Cheltenham and Hounslow the last few days. So as you can see in my eyes, I'm very tired. But how are you getting on?
Such exotic locations, Ross.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't pick them to go on holiday. No offence to Burton, Cheltenham and Hounslow, but I don't think you go there as a little trip, do you? Maybe Cheltenham. Cheltenham's nice, actually.
Cheltenham, it's near some of my family live near there. Very nice place to go. Very expensive to live though, so go visit, but don't try and get a house there. But I'm good. I've spent most of my time in less than sunny Ipswich, so hoping for a bit more sun before the summer's out, and because we are racing towards September very, very quickly. But speaking of sort of kicking off and stuff. It's been kickoff. We've had a league game for Ipswich Town Women just last weekend, first game of the season. Of course, it was away to Hounslow. And so we're going to spend a lot of today's podcast talking about how that went. It's crazy. We've had such a long time without a league game, and now it's here. It started. It's real, Ross.
Yeah, I feel like pre-season dragged, and as you said, we haven't had a league game since October 2020, something like that. And it is just mad how long it's been. But when the day finally arrived, I think everyone was excited, and the players just couldn't get ready, to get on that pitch and play a competitive game for the first time in ages.
So that's going to be our hot topic for today. How did that first game of the season go? And looking ahead to the next couple of games as well. So let's start at the top. The scoreline, it was 6-0 to Ipswich Town. They absolutely ran Hounslow into the ground. Ross, a comprehensive victory if ever there was one.
Yeah, what a way to start. That's making a big statement for the league, to score 6 goals. We're used to seeing this side score goals, but that's a great way to start here. Free football, get up and running with a win, but then score 6, get a clean sheet, and some very impressive performances from the girls. And that's what you want to do. When you start a season, you always want to start with a win. I feel, you want to start with that momentum, and they've done that very much so.
Absolutely. Now, like you said, we are used to seeing these big score lines. The famous Norwich 10-0 victory comes to mind on the back of that 10-0 loss against Manchester City, which seems eons ago, but it's not. But I think it was important for Town as the newbies to the league, remember, after the promotion, to sort of say, this is us, this is what we do, and this is what we're going to do in your league.
Yeah, and of course, Hounslow, they were opposition. We were going to be favourites going into this game, and it proved it. Scoring 6 goals. But I don't think we're going to ever think we're going to run away with it too much. But we had to wait for the first goal. I think maybe 9-10 minutes into the game, and some people go that is very quick, but it's still 9 minutes to find that first goal. And Maddie Biggs was the player to score it. Good finish from her. Good assist from Blue Wilson. And, of course, we'll go on to other goals and other key moments in the games. But I thought that was a good start to the game. And it was good to see Maddie Biggs on the score sheet as well.
Absolutely. And just sort of a bit of context, of course. Hounslow, they are stalwarts of the league. They are not the highest ranking team in the league by any shout. So, we'll talk so much about how fantastic the girls were in this first game, but just it's important for fans to realise Hounslow were the bottom of the league last season. They didn't play all the games they could have done, but they had an over 40 below goal difference in the end of the season. So this should have been a team that Town were looking to beat and beat well.
Definitely. And I want to sort of paint you a picture of the journey to the game,
Ross.
Of course.
Paint it.
Yeah. So, of course, Kieran Stanley, the media officer, picked me up at mine, took us to the training ground, Playford Road, the Ipswich Town training ground, and we got on a coach, of course, where all the players were on as well. We had our stuff-off points in Colchester and Brentwood. We got to the game. Hounslow, of course, they play in a non-league ground. I think it's Handsworth Villa Football Club. It's just a standard non-league ground. It's not fantastic, but it's not. I've been to worse. Nice little clubhouse. Pitch was all right, a little bit bobbly, but it did the job. And I think the players were just so, as I said, they were just so happy to finally be in a competitive game. All looking good in their tracksuits, all looking good in their kits. As we've already said, that the kit does look great this year. Definitely now with the same sponsor as the men, with the Ed Sheeran sponsorship and stuff, and his tour. And yeah, it was just. The weather was all right. Me, I always like to talk about the weather. I always fear about rain and stuff. And you think in the summer it should be all sun and, all sunshine and a bit hot. But it was a good weather for football. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too, it didn't rain. It was just a good, fine weather. But that is enough from me. That's my painting my picture when we got to the game. But yeah.
So let's talk about those goals then, Ross. So like you said, it was Maddie Biggs that kicked off the scoring for the Tractor Girls this season. She was followed with a debut goal for Bonnie Horwood. That was a pretty good goal, and she did come very close to putting a second one into the net as well. A great start for her this season, Ross.
Yeah, I think for any player, you want to get that debut goal, don't you? I think that would be on my mind if I was playing for a club for the first time. I want to straight away get off the mark. And I think, she may have a few of those in her locker to score a few goals. And that's what we want the whole team to score. You don't always want to just rely on Natasha Thomas, Maddie Biggs and the wingers. Sometimes you want to hopefully see goals like Bonnie. Hopefully Blue Wilson will score a few and just to sit on them nerves a little bit. But yeah, fantastic performance from Bonnie. I was impressed by her in pre-season. She knows its level. She knows the level above as well. So, yeah, great start for her. And I'm sure she's pleased that she got a goal. She was very much with her celebration. She was just like a standard. Yep, scored a goal. She didn't go mad. But no, good start for her.
And if you want to listen to a bit more of us discussing Bonnie and Sarah Quantrill, the other new signing for Town in their little double signing the other week, listen to last week's podcast because we go into depth about those two. So second goal was Bonnie Horwood's. Then there was a penalty for Paige Peake, who just solid knocked it back, easy as anything, really.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen her miss a penalty. I think I've only ever seen her miss a penalty in a behind closed door, in-house game where, there was the academy versus the first team and she missed in a penalty shootout. I think it was. I may be wrong there, but I think that's the only time I've ever seen her miss a penalty.
She'll correct you if you were. She will.
Sorry, Paige, if not. But yeah, fantastic penalty. And it was at that stage where you think, surely you're going to let Tash take this to get our 100th goal. Of course, she goes on, we'll go on to that in a second, but a lot of people, I remember Blue Wilson going over to Tash and sort of go, you're going to take it. But I think Paige Peake is the player to take the penalties, and she does what she does, smash it into the net to score. So, yeah.
So you said Tash there. Let's talk about Tash. Tash Thomas, absolute legend at Ipswich Town. She got her 100th goal for the club this weekend. And man, was she over the moon with that, Ross.
Yeah, thankfully, she did what she said she was going to do and celebrate in front of me. Got a nice little silly pic. That's what photographers like, is have a nice little celebrations, arms in front. And you know what? It wasn't the prettiest of goals, but it is historic.
It's incredibly messy as goals go. If you haven't seen how messy that goal is, then do check out the Ipswich Town Women's Twitter page. There's some, you can check out all the goals from the game. Yeah. That was a big mistake from the Hounslow keeper there, but Tash was there. In football, you've got to take every chance, and she absolutely did with that. And yeah, result is 100 goals.
Yeah, and as I'll give a trademark to Kieran. It's not the most beautiful strike or anything like that. It's not one of those goals you think, wow, but it's a historic goal, 100th goal for the football club. That's into the 100 club. You always hear that, and for her to do that in I think 120 games, 100 goals in 120 games. Of course, she goes on to score another. So has 101 now, but I'm sure she was over the moon. I'm sure she wasn't going to go crazy like doing knee slides and shirt off and stuff. Of course, women's football, I don't think they'll be taking their shirts off. But she didn't go crazy, but she did a nice little celebration just for me. I think just to get that on camera. And just historic moment. And as you said, legend, sometimes I hate the word chucking out, people chuck the legend word out a lot now, but for the women's team to do that at one club to score 100 goals, some of those goals may be against, not the greatest opposition, but at the end of the day, you still got to put it in the net. And she's a fantastic player for us. And I'm pleased she's finally got it, definitely on opening day, her first season in Tier 3 as well, to score that goal is fantastic.
Yeah, she is such a hard worker. She is constantly looking for the back of the net, week in, week out. She's there. And, an absolute inspiration, I think, to some of the younger girls at the club, because she is one of the more experienced players these days. But yeah, it's so fantastic for her to do that. And obviously, like you said, she couldn't just settle for one goal this game. And I think her second was even better, a fantastic header that she just threw herself into in sort of trademark Tash way.
And, well, you've got to give more credit, of course, to Maria Boswell. What an absolute quality cross. Bend it like Boswell, once again, trademark here in Stanley. But that was an absolute fantastic cross. And I'm a big fan of Maria Boswell. She's had injury problems, but it's good that she was able to start the season, got an assist. I think she got 2 assists in this game, actually. And yeah, fantastic. And Tash was there to leap up, header. She maybe wished that was her 100th goal, maybe, but
I would if I was her, I have to say.
Yeah, but that's good that she got 2 goals, and what a way to start the season, her first season in Tier 3, and get 2 goals off the mark. I'm sure she is buzzing about that.
But of course, the final goal that we're going to talk about today was possibly the best of all of them, Ross. What are they feeding Lucy O'Brien with that final goal? And my goodness, I've seen the playback. I don't think that does it justice, Ross, does it?
No, see it in person. You have to watch it in person. And this girl has got talent. Even before this goal, the games you've seen her play, and just in training, she's just unbelievable. Such a young age, and she's just ripping up this league already. And that was one hell of a goal. I'll have to admit, I missed the beginning of it because I was looking down. I always do this. I don't know why I do it. I should just look at the action, but I'm looking down, just looking through, pictures. And I just look up, and Lucy O'Brien's like in front of me. I was like, and then when she scored, I didn't really react that much. I just, I was trying to get the celebration pic, but I didn't know how good it was until Joe came over to me and because I was very close to the dugout, and he came over to me and said, "What a goal, Roscoe! What a goal!" And I was like, yeah. So
when Boss says yes, you nod and agree.
Yeah. Of course, when I watched it back, I went, "Oh my God, what a goal!" But I was stupid enough to look down, and when I looked up, she was in front of me. And then when she scored, I thought, "Oh, great little finish there!" But I didn't see the beginning of it. And
that she'd taken it across half the pitch, hadn't she? That by the time she'd got to you, just incredible, and just sort of topping off a fantastic start to the season for the whole club.
Yeah, and with Lucy as well, she's not the flashiest of player either. So I think when she scored it, she was just like, cool. Just doing what Lucy O'Brien does, She didn't go crazy or anything like that. But when you are 6 and up, of course, you won't go too crazy because you want to be you want to keep that sportsmanship, don't you? But
absolutely.
What a goal, and what a way to round off the game. 3 points, 6 goals. A big shout out to the fans as well who travelled. They brought their flags. And I'm just sure they're happy to be back in the grounds as well, watching the team, watching the girls in action. And I think 0-1, every player was happy with it. Like Liv Smith making her debut. She was very assured at the back. At one stage, though, I have to admit, we made 5 substitutions. Apparently, that is now a rule in the league. We can make our 5 substitutions. But when we made our 4th, I was like, is that allowed? I
think the substitution rules have changed somewhat owing to COVID-based situations and that kind of thing. But made absolute full use of that. It's available. Why not do it? And I know you
changed the goalkeeper.
Changed the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Leonie Jackson came on for Sarah, of course, making her debut, getting a clean sheet. Does Leonie get a clean sheet as well? Or does it? I don't think it counts that way. I think the person who starts gets it. So,
I mean, what did you make of Sarah in that sort of first competitive game for her? Obviously, we saw her in pre-season. She looked like a pretty safe pair of hands to me. I know Hounslow only got one goal, one sort of shot on target, not a goal, obviously, but one shot on target. I mean, not a lot for her to do, perhaps.
No, I don't know if it was in the highlights or not. I think it is, but there was a scare at one stage at the back. I forgot which player passed it a bit softly, and Sarah had to come out, and the player ran round her. I don't know how the player didn't score from an empty net. I think just good defending from Town to recover the ball. But that was the one scare. But pretty much she was just vocal as ever, doing what she does best. When she gets the ball, she plays out for the back, and I thought she did what she had to do, but she didn't really had to make many saves really. But I'm sure going on to this Sunday, she'll maybe in action a bit more. But I'm sure we're very much in safe hands with Sarah.
So, yeah, those 6 goals put Town top of the table on goal difference. Great way. Let's stop the season now. We're at the top of the table. Stop the season now. What a way to enter a new league and show what you're made of. But you said it there. It's going to be a very different game this weekend. Now, when we spoke to you last, the game was going to be against Keynsham, another team that's perhaps not the strongest in that league. But it's a very different case this weekend. The game's been changed. So those of you that don't know, it's against Crawley. This is the first game back at the Gold Star, and it will be against Crawley Wasps. Now, many of these teams in the league this season are not teams that Town's faced before. Unfortunately, Crawley are a team that Town know quite well, and not for the right reasons, Ross.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't witness the 8-0 defeat we had them in the Cup, but I was there when we lost on the opening day of the 2019-20 season. We lost 5-1. It wasn't a day to remember. And I remember that day we signed a player from Tottenham. Her name was Tony Wayne Ann, and she actually signed as a forward, but she was a goalkeeper at Tottenham. But I think at the time we didn't actually have a goalkeeper who was available that day, so she had to go in goal. And we lost 5-1. And then the reverse fixture at home, last time out, we lost 2-1. They came from behind to beat us. So our results against them isn't great, but we are very much a different side, and we're now both in Tier 3. So this should be a nice feisty game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's going to be a tougher game for the likes of Sarah Quantrill in goal. It's going to be more competitive. I think two sort of fairly decently matched sides. Obviously, Crawley with a little bit more league experience. They finished, I think it's 5th in the Southern Premier last season, in that curtailed season. So it'd be interesting to see kind of what Crawley Town face this time. Are they very similar in skill? Obviously, like you say, it's a very different Town side. But it's a bigger challenge, and I think the players are obviously aware of that, and I think fans should be aware of that. That it's going to be this is the first sort of game where we'll see perhaps a better vision of how Town are going to fare this season.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be more competitive, hopefully. I'm not saying Hounslow wasn't a competitive game. The girls still had to work hard and find them chances and score those goals. But, this is probably the perfect sort of season opener in the league at home for the girls. And, the fans will see, hopefully, a really good game. I'm going to steal your thunder here and talk about their opening day win. Crawley won 3-0 against Cardiff at home. So they've started the season off good. We see it'll be interesting what Joe will do with the team. And I'm sure there's going to be a good amount of crowd going down to the Gold Star in Felixstowe. Head to the seafront before the game if you want, or after the game. Hopefully the weather will be nice. Have an ice cream, have a burger, enjoy it.
Talking of food, Ross, before we go any further, I realised that we haven't asked you what your best food, what food was on offer. It's our new segment where Ross travels the country and tells us what is the best food to eat at various grounds. Now, Hounslow, obviously the first game of the season away. What were you eating, Ross?
Well, I think we should call this segment "Rate the Food at the Ground" or something. We'll think of a better name. But
so this is "Rate the Food at the Ground" or something with Ross.
Yeah, pretty much. Title: We're work in progress. So before the game, there wasn't much. I don't think there was like hot food on offer, but there was crisps and chocolate. And I was stupid. I didn't bring a water bottle with me, so I had to buy water. So I got a water, bought myself a Mars bar. Get me some Sugar Rush. Got me a Mars bar. I also bought Kieran a Twix. You're welcome, Kieran. And then after the game, of course, luckily because I'm part of the staff, we get food after the game. And what was on offer was pizza, probably from a local pizza place somewhere.
Okay, pretty decent.
Of course, when I arrived because of course the players need to eat first. I can't just rock up and just eat, most of it before them. I have to let them eat.
That could easily happen, couldn't it, Ross?
Yeah. So I turned up and I was like, oh, pizza. I'll make some pizza. So I had a margarita pizza because that was the only one left. Then I had a vegetarian one, but then I saw the sweet corn and I was just not happy. But I already was eating half of it already, so I had to just eat the rest of it because I don't know, sweet corn. upsets my stomach a little bit because of But anyway, we won't get into that. But yeah,
we're learning so much today.
pretty much. But it was a run-of-the-mill pizza. Wasn't the worst of that. It wasn't too greasy. It was just did the job. I don't know if that's probably the best food for a player after the game.
I'd like you to rate that out of 10, please.
10. It wasn't a Domino. I think it was just must be like a local pizza place somewhere, because it wasn't like homemade pizza. I think if it was homemade, then it'll be well done Hounslow and stuff. But I think it was just a local pizza place. I'll probably give it a 6, because I think it isn't probably the right food for a player who just played 90 minutes. I think you need maybe more carbs, don't you? You need more like a pasta or I don't know, some chicken for protein or whatever. But pizza, I don't know, maybe the S&C coaches and all that, they weren't very best pleased. But unfortunately, that's the best you can do. You just do it, don't you?
So there you go. Rate the food or something. Working title. Ross gives Hounslow Pizza a 6 out of 10. The next place you'll be rating food will we've spoken about the Gold Star before, but you'll be heading off. It's a Tuesday night fixture now, another change for Town. It was scheduled to be played Wednesday. It's now scheduled to be played Tuesday, another away game, this time against Gillingham.
Yeah, good old Kent. Been to Gillingham many times for the men's side. But yeah, Gillingham should be an interesting fixture. 8 o'clock kickoff, so a late one. The men, actually, lucky, this fixture's actually helped out in a way, because the men don't have a game that Tuesday, because normally it is Saturday, Tuesday for the men, but luckily they haven't got a game. So yeah, I know fans are a little bit annoyed because they probably was already sorted Wednesday out, but it got moved to Tuesday. But then it gives an opportunity just to get right back into it. Finish the game against Crawley, straight in there, and then luckily we're at home on the Sunday against Cardiff. We'll of course get into that next week probably anyway. But Gillingham, they lost their opening game, I think. Let me get the result up quickly. They lost 2-0 against Oxford. So we'll find out how they get on this Sunday. But 2 games very quick.
Yeah, very quick succession. Of course, Gillingham finished 10th in the league last season, just a couple of places above Hounslow. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how it's all sort of spread out across the league, how these teams sort of match up against each other. Because like we say, it's still it's a massive learning curve for Town this season. They're not up against these teams that they're so used to playing as they had been previously.
Yeah, and as we said before, I keep saying it's in every episode, so much travel. You
love it, really, Ross. Yeah. You love it.
Yeah, I love it when it's an away game if I had the home game for the men, but if it's the same away game, that's when it will, I think, do me in a little bit. But luckily this weekend we're both at home, so it's sort of nice, just to Ipswich and Felixstowe. So I'm going to have a nice chill weekend. Of course, still be busy covering the games, but at least there's no travel involved, only to Felixstowe.
Excellent. So one other bit of news to bring you then before we finish up for today. There was one new fixture announcement. This is for the FA Women's National League Cup. Town, it's been announced, will be playing London Bees in their first round of the Cup. Of course, that's quite an interesting game, I think, Ross. First time for them to be up against Bees this season. They obviously have them in the league, but also they have quite a few of their players from last season. So it'd be interesting to kind of see how they match up against their former side. And
thankfully, it's at home. That's the big one as well. I don't care who it is, but it's at home. Thankfully, we ain't got to go to London Bees. We'll have to play London Bees, of course, in the league at their place. But no, yeah,
The Hive,
yeah.
The Hive.
And I think the first couple of rounds are regional. I think, which I've seen. I think the fixtures I've seen, I think it is regional. But then when it gets, I think we're gonna have maybe this is a competition we would like to win because it's the third and fourth tiers, isn't it? Who play this, so there's a potential for us to go on and try to win it. And when we get to the maybe later rounds, we could be heading to like Middlesbrough or Newcastle or something like that. Whoever's in the other league, the northern section of the Premier Division. So yeah, but as you said, we know London Bees very well because we've got a lot of their players, and I think it'll be basically that'll be the first time we face them before the league games. So a nice little test to see how they are getting on.
Absolutely. So, of course, Sarah Quantrill, Bunny Horwood, and Liv Smith, also a London Beast player. So it'd be interesting to see that one. But that's coming up in a few weeks' time. Obviously, very preliminary rounds of the FA Cup were drawn the other day, but Town won't join that for a few rounds yet. So we'll let you know when we get those later fixtures for Town in the FA Cup. But like I say, it's very extra preliminary at the moment, and Town won't join for quite a few rounds yet. But we'll let you know when we know.
Yeah. And
busy.
Should we plug I'll get it up now. Should we plug the info? If you're listening for the first time and you've never been to a women's game, and if you fancy going this weekend, it's the season opener at the Gold Star Grounds. It's free to season ticket holders. So if you're a season ticket holder, go. Why not?
Go.
Entry, is £5 for adults, £3 for concessions. There'll be a program which was designed and edited by yours truly. Just saying. So if you want a program, get one. But yeah, it should be a really good day at the Gold Star. So enjoy. And
what is that kickoff time, Ross?
It is your standard 2 p.m. on a Sunday for women's games. So get down early, get a burger or something, because as I said, the clubhouse is very nice there, and enjoy yourself.
And if you are heading down for the first time this weekend, tweet us a picture. We'd love to see it. We would. And say hello to Ross. I'm working this weekend, sadly, but Ross will be down there. So if you see him, I know some of the fans at the men's games like to take sneaky pictures of you to show you're actually doing your job, which is nice.
Well, eating food normally when I get pictures taken of me. But, yeah.
But you can catch up with us, as always, on our Twitters. I'm at Katy Sandalls with a Y and a double L in the Sandals, because, life. And Ross, your handle, as always, is...
Ross Media UK, or of course, Kings of Anglia on Twitter.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's a busy one. Lots of fixtures coming up. But it's been great to chat through them with you as per usual, Ross. And we'll be back again soon.